Hi there. Alright, we are now in one of the most important parts of creating a custom subtable, the fields tab. This is where we define the actual columns of our table, just like the headers you'd have in an Excel file, but with much more control and structure. Field 1, as you see, in the previous video we already added the MANDT field, but now it's time to explain what it really does and why it's so important. MANDT stands for Mandat in German, which means client. In SAP, one system, or we can say one server, can serve multiple clients. Imagine it like one big warehouse shared by different companies. For example, both Best GmbH company and Top Ltd company store their invoice data on the same sub-server, but we don't want their data to mix. Thanks to MANDT and primary key definition, SAP keeps the data separated and secure between clients even when it's stored in the same table. MANDT acts like a label on each box in warehouse, marking which company or client the data belongs to. So even if both clients have an invoice with number 19001, SAP knows exactly which clients it belongs to. That's why these fields is required in almost every SAP table. We'll talk about it more detail in the next video, in which we'll create a relationship between ZVBRK and ZVBPR tables. If we take a real-world analogy, think of MANDT like a warehouse with several departments. You have the best company and the top company, both using the same subsystem. MAND keeps their data cleanly separated inside one table, like putting a label on each box in storage that says which company it belongs to, as I said before. Explanation of columns. K. As you see, we marked this K yes checkbox. That means the field is part of the table's primary case. SAP will use it to uniquely identify each records. We'll go deep into what K means in the next video when we link table together. And second checkbox, you can see that it's initial value. We also checked it as yes. This tells SAP to fill in the value automatically from the current logged in client when a new record is created. For example, if you're logged in as client 100, MANDT will be set to 100 by default. As you see, data element MAND, data type CLNT, length 3, and short description client. The data type and length are filled in automatically. You can see automatically because MAND is a predefined standard field in SAP. When you choose the data element, SAP already knows that it should be client type with length 3. That saves us time and helps keep consistency across tables. Second field, VBELN, billing document number. Next we'll add the field VBELN. This is invoice number. It uniquely identifies each billing document inside one client. K we marked as K, and initial value also. In this case, SAP won't automatically insert a value like it does with MANDT. The initial value will usually just stay blank until the user or system fills it manually. Data element should be VBELN VF. It should be chart 10, and short description should be billing document. But my NETWR system doesn't have the predefined data element VBELN VF. That's why we need to create it manually. If you're in the same situation or you're not sure how to do it, check out the video on creating a custom data element, ZVBELN VF, and a domain for it, you can find the link to this video either on the channel or in the description below this video. And I just add that before, and yeah, press enter, and we see that automatically it filled with our data. You may ask, why are both MANDT and VBELN K fields? Because MANDT separates client and VBELN separates invoice inside a client. That's why SAP tables like VBERK, or in our case ZVBRK, use both fields as a primary key. We will definitely go into more detail about this in the next video. But if you're not entirely sure about a column name, data element, or table structure, you can use the website. Linux EU, and in this, it's a helpful online reference to explore subtable fields and elements easily. Okay, FKDAT, billing date. Now let's add the billing date. FKDAT fields. It tells us when the invoice was created. We'll use these to analyze demand over time. K, we don't need to specify K because, as I said before, we in our ZVBRK table we have only two fields for primary key. Initial value, yes, and FKDAT. We also can specify it and press enter. SAP automatically fills in the correct data type and length. That's length 8. Show description, billing date for billing things, and printout. It's like the timestamp printed on a delivery note showing when goods were shipped or sold. Next field, NETWR. NETWR field. Let's now add NETWR, the total net value of the invoice. This shows how much money the customer owes for the whole invoice. Just like with VBELN, my NetWR system doesn't have the predefined data element NetWR, so we need to create it manually as a custom data element. For example, that NetWR, press enter, and now we don't see anything because we need to create this element and assign a domain to it like ZNetWR D that we also need to create. This domain setup will allow you that NetWR field to behave correctly as currency value with 2 decimal places. As you see before, with 2 decimal places. Yeah. No worry if you haven't done it before. I already record a video where we create custom elements and domain step by step. You can find the link to that video in description below or directly on the channel. Okay. No. Initial value, yes. Data type, as you see, that was filled automatically. Length 15 and data type currency. Warehouse analog. Imagine the summary at the bottom of an invoice. Total due $1,200 or euro. That is what NETWR represents. Field. Next field. WAERK. WAERK. The currency used for invoice total. This is important if you deal with international customers. Also K, we don't need to specify. Initial value, yes. Data element, also WAERK. This is a predefined standard field in SAP. As soon as you enter it and press enter, SAP automatically fills the correct data type and length, as you see here. Don't forget to switch to the currency quantity field tab and link NETWR to WAERK. This tells SAP that NETWR is in euros, dollars, etc. In this tab, we can technically connect our NETWR field to WAERK. This tells SAP our net value will be in the currency stored in WAERK. Without this, SAP doesn't know what unit the number belongs to. It would just treat NETWR as plain number. By linked it, we define the context clearly, whether it's euro, USD, etc. Real world analogy, a price doesn't mean much without the currency, because 1,000 euro or dollars very different from 1,000 yuan. That's why WAERK matters. Okay, we need to save it, check it, activate it, and awesome. We now have a clean, realistic table ZVBRK. It includes client separation, invoice ID, billing date, and even total invoice amount with currency. We can check also enhancement category. Yes, it was checked before. And okay. In the next video, we'll create the second table ZVBR. The line items on each invoice. We'll also connect it to ZVBRK using conform key. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe for more SAP and Python learning. See you in the next one. Bye.